I've been making revision timetables ever since I was a little kid, and only recently have I just realized that I was doing them completely wrong. You see, the timetable that we currently use is called the Prospective Revision Timetable. It's, when you put down a date and say, oh, on the 3rd of August, I'm going to be studying this particular topic. And that is completely ineffective, and in this video I'll show you a much better alternative with a free template at the end. We're going to cover a couple of different chapters in this video, starting off with the Prospective Revision Timetable, which is the one that we currently use, and 3 major problems with it. We're going to then move on to the retrospective revision timetable, which is the better alternative and why it's so much better than the prospective one. And then I'm also going to include a free template, so make sure you stick around to the end. Okay, so this is the standard prospective revision timetable, which is the one that we currently use and have been using since the start. You got dates on one side, you got topics on one side. 3rd August, you're going to be studying trigonometry and vectors. And we've been doing this since the start. You got dates on one side, topics on one side. But why is this so ineffective? Well, I got 3 big issues with this timetable. Okay, so as you can see on your screen right now, I've written the 3 major problems that I have with this timetable. And number 1 is that it assumes that you're a robot. Basically, you have a fixed date for everything. You have 3rd August, you're going to be studying trigonometry and vectors. But what if you're not able to study that on the 3rd of August? What if something happens? What if you have to go out with your friends? What if you have to attend a family matter? This timetable doesn't account for any sort of like messing up or like you have to attend personal matters. It just gives you a fixed day that it just assumes that on 3rd of August you're going to be studying trigonometry and vectors and that you're going to get it done. But it never accounts for what if you do not get it done. And in that case, if you, let's say you miss the 3rd of August, then you've missed trigonometry and vectors, and then you have to fit it in another timetable, which basically cramps it up and all of your schedule just falls apart. So that is one of the biggest problems with it. It doesn't account for if something goes wrong. It accounts that every single day you're going to show up 10 out of 10 and you're going to get the stuff done. So that is the problem number 1. Problem number 2 is that it rewards the wrong thing. I know people personally who just sit down and spend like 2-3 hours just making revision timetables, making them all pretty, getting their highlighters out, getting like different color pens out, and just making a pretty little timetable that basically covers the whole syllabus. Now, it feels productive, but in reality, it's not productive at all. In fact, it's counterproductive. So making a revision timetable is like, it feels really good to make one. You feel super productive, but in reality, you're focusing on the wrong thing. It's rewarding the wrong thing. It makes you feel like you've actually done something, even though you've done basically no revision. When it comes to retrospective, which we'll come to, and that is just 10 times better. Now, the third point you have here is that it makes you study the wrong topics. What do I mean by this? Basically, when you write, like, let's say trigonometry and vectors, you don't know how good you are on each of those topics. Let's say on trigonometry you're let's say 3 out of 10, but on vectors you're a 4 out of 10. You've planned your entire study not assuming how good you are at each subject. You might be better at one topic than compared to the other. And in that case, you're going to have to focus on the topic that you're weak at. But this sort of timetable does not focus on that. It just focuses on giving every single topic attention equally, which is not how it's supposed to be. If you're struggling on a topic, you're supposed to focus more on it. And if you're good at a topic, then you're supposed to not focus on it as much as you would on other stuff. But this timetable just assumes that you're going to be giving equal amount of time to every single topic, which is completely wrong, and that is just going to make you study the wrong topics and not really help you when it comes to getting a better grade. So these are the 3 major problems that I have with this particular prospective revision timetable, but all of these problems are solved by the retrospective one, which is what we're going to look at next. Okay, so this is a retrospective revision timetable, which is 10 times better than the prospective one. I also want to note that retrospective means looking back in time, whereas prospective means looking into the future. Now, what is this exact timetable? On the left-hand side, you have a column called topic, and on the right side, you have dates revised. All of the topics, you can see differentiation, integration, probability graphs, etc. On the right-hand side, you can see the dates. Basically, whatever day you study that particular topic, you just write it down. So on the 5th of August, I studied differentiation. And this uses a traffic color coding system, which is like, green is like you understand the topic fully, yellow or orange is like you understand it partially, you still have like a few weaker bits, and then red is basically that you don't understand the topic at all. Now, on the 5th of August, I studied differentiation, and I basically colored it orange because, I was there, but I was getting some questions wrong. In that case, I studied it again on the 9th of August, and this time I colored it green because I fully understood the concept, I was getting almost every single question correct. As for, let's say, probability, let's say on the 2nd of August, when I studied it, I was getting most of the questions wrong. I didn't understand the full concept properly. Then I studied it again on the 5th of August, and I still didn't understand the full concept properly, which is why I color coded it red. Let's say, let's look at another one. So for proofs, I studied on the 3rd of August. I was basically getting almost every single question wrong, which meant that I didn't understand the concept properly. And then I studied again on the 7th of August, and this time I actually understood the concept a bit more, and I started to get questions correct, but I'm still not at the green level yet, which means I still need to put in more practice. Now you can probably already see why this revision timetable is like 10 times better than the prospective one, but let me give you a couple of more like points that so that your belief in this system is completely solidified. Number one is that it trains active recall. You know, it forces you to realize your mistakes and then actually solve practice questions to improve and basically get to that green mark where you're getting every single question right. Number two is that it improves your spaced repetition, which is one of the best study techniques out there, which is studying a particular topic at different time intervals to make sure that your brain combats the forgetting curve. In this case, it works seamlessly because you keep writing the day, you see whichever topic that you continuously are in the red or orange section, and then you continuously revise it until you get to the green, which is when you understand the concept, you're getting every single question correct. It forces you to work on your weaknesses, and every single point that we talked about for the prospective one of why it's so bad, it completely combats it. You know, it forces you to focus on your weaker topics. You don't spend like hours trying to make this pretty because when you first start out, it's just the topic section and no other thing. And then basically, it's just perfect for a student. Like, you don't have to do anything. You can understand your weaknesses. It's just the best revision timetable that you could possibly make. Also, I did promise you guys that I'm going to give you a free Notion template for this retrospective revision timetable so that you don't have to make your own. So let's go and have a look at that. Okay, so this is a Notion template that I was talking about that you can go and get for completely free in the description below. Basically, let me walk you through it. You've got a section called topic here, which is like whatever topic you want to put here. You can make different retrospective revision timetables. All you do have to do is copy paste it. But let's say you got a topic with a few gaps. You got a topic that you've barely started, a case study that you half remember, a topic that you're confident on, and you can see the gist here. Now here you have your confidence in it. So again, you got the same traffic light system here, which is amber, red, and green, which is confident. So same traffic light system. You got something called day since revise. So all you have to do is, let's say I last studied this topic on the 28th, and it automatically updates your day since you revise. So that here you can basically get an illustration of how long it's actually been since you revised a particular topic. And here, let's say you got notes. So if in particular you feel like you want to make a note that your future self remembers, you can put it here. Like, for example, redo practice questions, come back in a day or two, and you recall 5 key points. You can, by the way, you can delete these examples once you've added your own. Here it was confident, but it's been a while, so revisit it before it slips. Here you can add the subject, whatever subject course, like let's say you're doing A levels, you can add A level maths, chemistry, physics, or if you're doing uni work, you can put your uni course, and time since you've revised. So again, as you said, so in the timetable you had different dates. So basically, how many dates have you revisited the topic on? Here you can see 4 days, 3 days, 2 days. That's why it's so solid. But yeah, you can also switch these around, whichever one you want to be first or last. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty sick. This is what I use personally as well. That helps me track how good I'm doing on a particular subject or particular course. And it's been very useful. So if I were you, I would grab this immediately and start implementing it in my own studies. So yeah, let me just close this and we'll go back to the video. So yeah, that was the free Notion template that I talked about in the start of the video. Honestly, it was a game changer for me because I could clearly see which topics I was good at, which topics I was bad at, which topics I needed to work more on. This made the whole process a lot more easier for you. That was a free template. And I'm also about to drop an ultimate system for workflow system for university that includes literally everything that you can dream of on Notion. So stay tuned for that. It's coming out in 2-3 weeks maybe. But yeah, it's just going to be the best. So yeah, I mean, that was the video. I really hope you enjoyed and that you took away something, that the timetables that we currently make were not the best and you might want to switch to the retrospective one. Which, shout out to Ali Abdal, by the way. That's how I particularly learned about this particular timetable. His video got really popular and I decided to recreate it. But his video is the reason I learned about this timetable in the first place, and it's helped me a ton. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and you took something away from it. Check out 2 of these videos right over here. This one's about A-level versus university, and this one's how you can make money as a student. You can subscribe to the channel anywhere on the bottom here, and I'll see you with another video very soon. Take care and goodbye.